Good morrows, my friends! My name is XaneKudo and welcome back to Cupid. I forgot we stopped at this part with the needles in her mouth, or in her throat. Oh god. Needles. In her palms were a handful of long metal needles. She had regurgitated them along with blood and jagged pieces of flesh. Why'd we start with that? Rosa examined them with a horrid kind of curiosity. She stuck one in her thumb and then drew more blood. Why would you do that? They were real. They had materialized in her throat while casting a spell on Guilherme. Rosa wiped her mouth. There was something wrong with them. Something potent and dark. Or could it have been that she had merely botched the spell horribly? She had pushed her limits this time. She had gone too far. But still, a tugging concern was forming. It was as real as the metal needles in her hand. Rosa tried to stand up on her feet, but she was exhausted. Her knees failed her, and she crumpled on the floor like a rag. Oh god, no, okay. I knew it, or actually we don't know much about Guilherme. All we know is that she's being crazy, or she's listening to her mother, and she's feeding her all these lies, or maybe the truth. The point is, we don't know much about him. All we know is that Catherine's dead, and we think he has something to do with it. We try to get the truth out of him, but now the spell is either saying there's something wrong with him, or we botched it up. No, we gotta get to the bottom of this. Are you quite alright, my darling? Now you see it too. There's a sinister force at work. Get up. We have a lot of work to do. We must find out what he is and stop him. Rosa stared at the needles in her hand. Who are you really, Guilherme? I don't know. What is he? Okay, I guess we'll find next time. Chapter 3, Portraits and Candlelit. Rosa entered the room with a tray of pastries and a pot of tea. Her duties were finished and she was allowed a bit of free time. She thought of accompanying Catherine for today's piano lesson. Wait, okay, I had a feeling. So, Chapter 2 was after Catherine died. I'm guessing Chapter 3 and maybe onward is going to show just what happened leading up to it in Chapter 1, from Chapter 1 at least. Kath, do you want some tea? The girl didn't look her way. She continued to churn out the bitter, melancholic sound from the piano. Rosa sighed, her shoulders slumped in defeat. She placed the food on the table. She sat on a stool beside the piano, twiddling her thumbs while her friend continued to stew in her foul mood. Is that a new composition? It sounds nice. Nowadays, you make a new piece every day. It's a shame they're all so sad. Catherine didn't reply to that, but when she spoke again, her words were bitter. I saw them again, those degenerate louts. Catherine, what happened? Why are you so angry? You was actually very happy to be living with Rosa, but now you're so bitter. What happened? No shame at all, Cat. Alright, just sexy damn adults and all that. At least they have the decency to close the door. Sometimes I dare say that they want to get caught. When I walked in on them this morning, we eating each other's faces, they had that look on them. Wait, who? Okay, so technically you walked in on who? Like they were daring me to say something. We? Did they want my applause? Very nice technique, sire. I very much like the way you swapped your spit with my sister. Great tongue action. The très mauvais. And he even has the gall to speak to me? Be a dear and put him on the table, Catherine, he said. Like I'm a soft-headed giggle mutt of a maid. He wanted me to get annoyed. I just know it. What false share I am. Catherine turned to the tea and pastries, stuffing the butter bread into her mouth. Okay, so Catherine is bitter because her sister was with somebody. I'm going to guess that somebody is Guillermin. Easy there. These damn things. These damn delicious things. She said the last part angrily as she blamed her troubles on the fool's relish. Rosa giggled in spite of herself. Catherine worked them out in mock anger. What are you laughing at, wench? It's almost comical to what you eat when you're angry, Cat. You're like the giant monsters that attack defenseless towns in horror books. Oh, yeah. Catherine made sad, tiny squeals and picked up another piece of bread. No, please spare us! She just a voice and boomed out a roar. The Catherine, master of the deep, doesn't show mercy to anyone. She dropped it in her mouth and chewed savagely. Dead. Yum! Annihilation is delicious with tea. That's some good Earl Grey. The two girls giggled. Catherine's rare smile turned into a rueful laugh. And soon, Rosa felt her mood turning somber again. What happened anyway? Aren't you annoyed by it too? Sister has changed ever since she started helping in a chateau. Now it's Guillermin this, Guillermin that. I knew it! So they are dating. As if she wasn't already married. Oh! She doesn't even care that people are talking behind her back. They're calling her a two-timing slut now. I'm tired of running around picking fights with gossipers. She hasn't even visited home for a long time. Okay. So let me get this straight. So, she's pissed that her sister is married to Guillermin. Okay? And I don't. Well, that's one reason to get pissed, I suppose. Your sister is married to somebody that you really admire. Father misses her a lot. He always asks about her. Father's worked all hard all these years just to give us a comfortable life. And now he's sick, and all she cares about is that dastardly Marquis. Rosa shrugged. I am a bit annoyed, but I guess I've gotten used to it. Their lives on her own, Cat. She didn't dare divulge more than the Catherine, but it was partially true. I like Guillermin. He's a nice friend. But I love my sister. If they want to stay together, then why not fix this and have at it? But what irritates me to my damn snatch the way they are with each other. Catherine recently found the use of expletives endearingly in her speech. Rosa hoped it was a phase. They're fucking miserable! Any half-wit can see that! Yes. I told Amelia time and again to smarten up. She's hurting a lot of people, including herself. But if she would listen to her 16-year-old brat of a sister, as if she would, but even Gilmer is depressed. I can tell. Remember when he used to come and visit us here to have tea? Remember? Or when he used to have picnics in the afternoon? We used to run around chasing rodents in the garden. You ran around. We just watched you get dirty, actually. And that is very true, you nitwit, heads. Back then, it used to be fun visiting the chateau. Nowadays, you barely even see him. He just stays in his bureau all day, brooding. Is this something adults subject themselves to? Like a torture ritual? I really don't understand why two people who are clearly unhappy keep at it. Rosa did understand. At least, some part of it. She couldn't exactly explain how pain and love worked. All she knew was that it had something to do with an absurd, obsessive amount of hope. She felt Mother tugging at her mind. No, why mother? She loved mother so much. Oh, ooh, excuse me. Sorry, I drank before this. I shouldn't have done that. I usually drink during it, so I don't know. I guess I had something to eat. It's coming back. Anyway, look, I can hiccup now. Living with the pariahs gave her ample comparison to her former life. She had finally accepted that mother was cruel, and yet mother still gave her love and kept her from wanting. Was that crazy? Perhaps it was the only love she needed. Perhaps it was what she deserved. Rosa shook the thoughts of her mind and just shrugged. I hope you're just worried about your sister, Kath. But they will figure it out. Humans learn. Look at you, all profound and shit. You read any good books lately? Catherine! Oh my, you used to be such an innocent little girl. Now you're using potty language. Just the riveting accounts of the ugly duckling and Baba Black Sheep. Ah, the classics. I don't know how you put up with it though. I hate reading words. In order to write, I have to learn how to read first. I want to write. Why would you want to do a dastardly thing like writing? Why would you want to hit some crazy strings until your fingers bleed? He's smart. The two friends laughed again. I want to remember things. I want to write them down. But most of all, I want to feel the way you do when you play the piano, Cat. Oh? The way you look when you play. You are passion and bliss in musical form. It feels like love. Like magic. You inspire me to do something fulfilling and grand. Well, I'm sure you will. Hey, why not write a play one day? Let's do it. You write an amazing play, and I shall provide the music. We'll travel all around the country and perform. We make lots and lots of money and gain lots of followers. We shall be known as the Parade Cavern of Wonders. Rolls right off the tongue, does it not? Parade? Are you sure? Puns are the best. Trust me. That sounds darn batty, Kathy. From this day forward, nobody is allowed to call me Kathy ever again. The sound of a knock interrupts her giggles. Catherine, it's me. I need to discuss something important with you. Frustrated, Catherine pouted at the sound of her sister's voice. Oh boy, we have a meal. Before, she said, I will not be taken by this marquis. And now, suddenly, she can keep her hands and lips and possibly other bodily parts off of the marquis. Boy, times have changed. He turns back to the piano and begins to play a sarcastically happy tune. Rosa stood up to open the door. Hello, Rosa. Madam. She had seen the older Farah sister recently and astounded her how old she had begun to look. Her once radiant face looked tired and hard, almost crone-like. Under her eyes hung huge bags. And yet she still looked quite dignified, full of pride and pomp. There was extra arrogance, and her demeanor was elegant. It was as if pride was her only source of nourishment these days. What an interesting tune. Do you mind giving Catherine and me a moment of privacy? Rosa gave a small bow. Of course not, madam. Rosa gave her a nursery book as a nursery book and squeezed Catherine's shoulder before stepping out of the room. Rosa entered the quiet room of the library. She was about to approach the table when she noticed Gillimer already occupying the seat. He was writing something in a book, somewhat immersed in the activity. Rosa stopped dead in her tracks. Oh boy, Mother's talking to me again. Should I leave or should I just go in and ignore him? Actually, you know what? I think I might leave because I actually want to see what they're going to talk about. What are you doing just standing there? He is going to see you. Leave now while you still have a chance. Alright, Mother. Maybe you're right. Unfortunately, Gilmer lifted his head and saw her by the door. Oh, hello, Rosa. Rosa took a step back. Maybe it was best to walk away if this was a mistake. But wouldn't that be rude? He had already seen her after all. But she had never been alone with him. It was just too awkward. Well, why not just go in? It was going to be fine. They had conversed normally before. Yet, that was because Catherine had been around to disperse her awkwardness. Now I look like an idiot. Gilmer watched her pace in front of the door in amusement. Rosa decided to go in. She had already embarrassed herself enough anyway. There was little left to lose. Besides, there was nowhere else to go in this big house. She had already gotten lost in its hallways, much to the annoyance of that mall trip. The library was her favorite place. If she stayed quiet in one corner, Rosa was sure they wouldn't bother each other. She took a seat in the farthest corner of the table and opened her book. Oh no, he's actually standing up and walking over. Oh, goddamn, go away, go away, go away! No, you horrible man. Just sit over there while I sit over here. Do not come closer. I want my space. But Gilmer was already beside her, thinking of what she was doing. Fuck! A cold sweat spread on her scalp. Rosa, in that book. Rosa began to chatter nervously. I know it's a children's book, sire. I'm teaching myself to read. I know most commoners don't really bother, but I want to learn. So please don't laugh or mock me. Gilmer pointed to the book. It is upside down. Rosa stared at it. The ducks in the picture had their feet up in the air. Rosa squirmed, feeling the heat on her cheeks. She couldn't think of anything more embarrassing. I'm sorry. Gilmer's face lost his cheer. What do you need my forgiveness for? I am only here to help you. Impossible to get closer to you and cheat on my wife. Rosa looked up at Gilmer. Her eyes lacked the gentle glint. His eyes lacked the gentle glint they usually had. It was such a subtle change, something felt rather than it was hurt. She thought he would reprimand her further. His face certainly looked like it. Instead, he sat down beside Rosa, drumming his fingers on his cheek while he watched her wordlessly. Hey, buddy. I appreciate you telling me that my book was upside down, and yes, that was embarrassing, but can you please go away now? Thank you. Well, weren't you going to read? Well, yes, I was going to read until you started to come in here. Please exnute my space. This is my area. Your area is whatever else. Just as long as it's not here. Okay? What's wrong with him today? He didn't seem like himself. Yeah, did he eat something bad? The aura he exuded was not his usual friendly warmth. It wasn't particularly wicked. The look on his face said slightly and externally miffed. Rosa turned the book upright and read the words out loud. Once, that is the U with the short sound. It is pronounced like this. Gilmer made a sound, his face still in his lazy stare. Rosa nodded and continued. Her nerves were frazzled, but she was actually at ease with his presence. She felt like a child being taught by the parent. The parent was strict, but still caring, and strangely kind of weird. And the child was jumpy, but eager to learn and please. Most of all, he would not hurt her for her mistakes. Rosa was almost sure. There lived, the past tense of live. Why did we change it? It is a rule of grammar that... Grammar? Gilmer narrowed his eyes at her. Do you even know your alphabet? Rosa shook her head. You should stop that. Gilmer rose from his chair and disappeared amongst the shelves. Finally, bye! Now let me learn my ABCs and 1, 2 thoughts. He left behind an old thick book covered in green felt. This was what he had been writing in earlier. It looked tattered and worn. The pages laid flat on his side so that the book didn't close properly. Rosa reached out to peek at the cupboard when... You are not to touch that. Rosa's whole body froze at the sound of Gillimer's warning. Gillimer stared and followed her even as she whispered numerous apologies under her breath. I'm sorry. Gillimer just rolled his eyes. Like a dick. You are always seeking forgiveness for everything. Am I? I'm sorry. Sam struck the table in front of Rosa. And I was kind of surprised. That was kind of shocking. At least the sound was. In the quiet library, his round rang uncomfortably in her ear. When she looked up, Gillimer's face was looming severely above hers. He moved her closer to her, his eyes fixating on her intensely. Hey! Hey, buddy. Back up. Back up. Remember what I said. My space. Your space. Rosa's mouth hung open. She struggled to say something, but her wits were like the burning ends of a matchstick. Before she could compose herself, she felt Gillimer's hand lift her chin. Oh, God, no! Rosa's heart thumped loudly inside her chest. Gillimer, you're not! Please don't. Not you too! She felt his breath on her face, and her heart sank into despair. Rosa's voice resounded in her head. In the end, they're all the same. He is like everyone else. She shut her eyes and prepared for the worst, that she always did when. Then she felt her face being turned from side to side. She opened her eye to see Gillimer studying her face like a textbook. You are a fairly attractive girl. Why do you carry yourself like it is a slug? He lifted her hair to hide her damaged eye. Rosa clenched her teeth. Is it because you were hurt before? Well, technically she hurt herself on that part, but yeah, it's okay, yeah. He said it so matter-of-factly, like he was stating the sky was blue. Rosa recoiled from his touch. No, I did that to myself. I wasn't talking about your eye. He placed the book on the table. It was a thin pamphlet filled with letters. There were lines on the book that instructed the user to trace letters with their quill. Rosa wanted to focus on it, but she could feel the truth in the Marquis's words stinging her. It was the way you would limp when I touched you. Next time, I advise you to fight back. If you don't want to be touched, then you don't have to be. Do you understand this? But I am weak. Says who? Her eyes were humorous. The world cares not for people who think of themselves as victims, Rosa. If you need power, then be powerful. To have it, it is necessary to crush things along the way. Rosa flinched under the weight of his stare. She realized that this polite and courteous Gillimer was but a facet. It was still him, but it was nothing but an oil portrait and artwork of his devising. Synthetic, aloof, and irrelevant. It couldn't capture his essence in a few human strokes. Suddenly, Rosa realized he was powerful. Who are you? She caught herself before saying out loud. You are not Gillimer. And yet, he spoke to her as if he knew what it was like to hurt and to fear. If you don't start acting like you own yourself, then people will not hesitate to take everything. He laid out the rest of the books he had brought out. One was an activity book for children. It had a picture of a child holding an apple with an arrow stuck in it. Another was a book of time tricks. The others who would take her books that intimidated her. She would come to know them as Hamlet and Paradise Lost. Oh God, Hamlet! Oh God, Hamlet! No, not Hamlet. Oh God. Oh, I remember when I was in high school, senior year. In my English class, we did Hamlet. I was Hamlet. We didn't do a play. We just read out loud in class. But since that day, my teacher, every time I was going to read something on there, he called me Hamlet because I performed it so well. Oh God, I hate Hamlet sometimes. I hate it because of that. I love it, but I hate it. But the one that caught her eye was an ornately designed book. It had a beautiful red jacket with delicate gold trimmings lining the corners. The gods and goddesses of Roman mythology. This would be her favorite book, her treasure, and she knew it was like love at first sight. Just don't do anything I would do with that. These books are yours. Take them with you. Read the thin ones first, and then gradually build your vocabulary with the thicker ones. Are you sure you want to build your vocabulary with Hamlet? That's like ye olde English right there. I don't think you'll learn much. Rosa ran her hands over the skin of the red book. She's opened the cover gingerly, as if carefully unwrapping a present. Thank you. No thanks needed. I simply showed you some books from the prison portion of the library you weren't aware of. You're still so generous. Even if you are like this. Like what? That. What? Somewhat irritable? Gillimer didn't reply, leaving an awkward silence lingering between them. Then he gave a giant laugh that made Rosa jump out of her skin. I do look damn irritable, don't I? Why? Is it because of Emilia? Gillimer's eyes drifted away. No. I've always been. You just pointed it out. But you're not usually like this. Especially with Catherine and the townspeople. I find it easy to adapt to people, especially to the ones I like. Gillimer looked at Rosa as he had just become aware of her presence. It makes me wonder why I am so stern with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Rosa shook her head. I somehow prefer this side of you. Gillimer cocked his head to the side. He brought out the green book that Rosa noticed earlier. This is called a journal. When you learn to write, start one. What is it? Something you could use to remember yourself when you've forgotten. Does it work? It used to. Nowadays, not anymore. The act itself is the only thing I remember. Now, let's start with your vowels. What was that? The scream pierced the halls of the chateau. It was Catherine. Gillimer sprinted to the door with Rosa not far behind. What am I going to see? Back in the piano room, Catherine took a shaky step towards her sister. She wasn't moving at all. Blood dotted the ivory keys. It was an accident. She was overcome with the urge to approach her sister and shake her awake. Make sure she was okay, but it was a it was a nasty fall. Oh. Emily. Catherine saw the way her sister head snapped back as it collided with the sharp corner of the piano. Oh! 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 She watched it all like a series of photographs in her head. She had to check on her, but her feet refused to move. Instead, she began to retreat into a corner. She didn't even notice her legs were moving until her forehead touched the wall. She didn't want to turn around. Her sister was on the floor. Her eyes were still open, unblinking. It was an accident. It was nothing but an accident. Was it? She pushed first. She got really scary. And she strangled me. What? That's absurd. Are you sure? Would she do that? I don't know. I think she did. Catherine touched her throat. It felt fine. That pariah girl, Emile, is it? She really believes just because the Marquis took her in that he's interested in her. Well, she's obsessed with the master. The apple doesn't fall from. Ah! Well, she's obsessed with the master. the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Wasn't her mother a bit, you know, not right in the head? It probably runs in the family. Amelia looked mad. Her eyes had burned with malice for her as she had closed her fingers around Catherine's neck. But she couldn't remember that it really happened. Sister was always kind to her. She would never, ever hurt her, even when they got into fights. Sister loved her. Am I turning mad? I have the blood of a mad woman. Am I going to end up like her? I only told her the truth. Gilman doesn't care for her. She didn't even care for him that much either. It was all just shaft the relationship. I think I know how Catherine died. Yeah, it was suicide, but I think I know what happened. It's all starting to make sense now. No sense trying to make everyone else miserable too. But she called me jealous and a cunt. She had never called me a cunt. She said they had decided to send me away. Unless I said home, the piano replaced. It was for my own good, she said. I don't have to travel out here all the time. I can concentrate here on my own endeavors. I can make new friends. But I know she just didn't want me near the chateau or Guillermo. She hates it when I catch her with him. Perhaps the morning was the last straw. She hates it, but she also smirks at me when I see them. She basks in it. I think I might hate her. Catherine's thoughts ran through her head like a storm. They poured out of her aimlessly. I wonder if the piano is broken. Am I going to pay for it? Which one will become of us sister's wages? What of father's medicine? What of my dreams? Sister can't be dead. Sister can't be dead. Catherine brought her fingers to her lips and nibbled on her thumb. She didn't notice this. Her mind was preoccupied. She was concerned over the wall, biting her fingers. It was a tiny comfort in a rapidly collapsing world. Jennifer opened the door and found the mirror lying on the floor. An ugly gash broke the skin of her forehead. Facing the wall was Catherine, shivering like a leaf and viciously devouring one of her fingernails. He approached her cautiously. Catherine. Rosa was out of breath, but was able to let out a gasp of scene. Emilia's lifeless eyes stood up at nothing while Catherine pressed herself into a corner. What had happened after she had left? Rosa, will you call for help, please? See that someone checks on Emilia. Rosa did as she was told, but what she really wanted to do was hug Catherine herself. Guillermo took a small step toward her. He called out her name slowly, coaxingly. Catherine turned her head, her thumb still on her lower lip. The flesh was torn, and the smudge of scarlet painted her teeth. It was an accident. I swear. Of course it was, Catherine. Of course it was. She pushed me first. She wanted to send me away. She wanted me gone. You can tell me about it later. Let me take you away from this room. What have I done? Catherine fell to her knees and wept. Large sobs sucked the air out of her. She felt like drowning, trying to keep herself afloat in between sobs. Every exhale was a squeezing pain in her lungs. She felt Guillermo's arm wrapped around her. What have I done? What have I done? You didn't do anything, Sherry. This is not your fault. There was a bitter bulge building up in her throat, and she felt that no amount of crying could push it back down. Father, sister. Guillermo's arms were grown tighter around her, and she clutched to his warmth in a vast sea of fear. You don't have to be. I will always be by your side. Catherine, I will take care of you and your father, alright? You don't have to worry about your future. Her tears soaked her shirt through, but the squeezing in her chest felt less painful. Why do you care so much for me? Gilmer's eyes furrowed as if confused that she had even asked. I just do. Not a good answer. Or a big answer. It was a boldly stated fact, as it painfully obvious, as if Catherine was a fool for not knowing me. It made Catherine's heart expand into her ribs. When she looked back, she would recall this as the moment she fell in love with him. The look in his eyes was reassuring and strong. She wasn't alone. She was going to be all right. Let's get you away from here. He supported her and stirred her up, careful to block the view of her sister from her eyes. He led her to the door. Catherine hated how fast the relief came. She still drenched in sorrow at her sister's death. Her father would not take well to the news, especially in his health. But she was all right. And she hated it. Rosa was with her. She didn't have to leave her piano. Her dreams. Him. Nothing had to change. And more importantly, she hated the voice that came whispering in her head over and over again. Thank goodness, he said. Thank goodness. Well. Okay. Wow. 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 Okay. Wow. Whew. So, that was surprising. So, the reason that Catherine, I suppose, killed herself was because she kind of felt guilty about killing her sister and then falling in love with her sister's man, trying to take him. And I guess because she felt that she was more relieved that her sister's out the way rather than, grieving over it, that the guilt kind of ate up at her and she offed herself to get rid of it. Wow. Wow. Just holy shit. I'm discovering more and more about this game, and the more I go into it, the more tragic it becomes. Oh my god. It's like as soon as I got introduced to Catherine and her family, it all went downhill from there. Holy shit. Let's continue. The first candle was lit. This candle was storage. The love for familiars. The cleanest love. Rosa stared at the blue candle glowing in her hand as she chanted her spell. Wait, we're doing the spell thing again? Trust is the veil that conceals and deceives. Trick his eyes and his heart with the warmth from the candle's flame. A bond of blood like kin she will be forged. Leave this trust so his tongue will yield to wet assault. Okay. Okay, so now we're going back to Catherine's death. So I'm guessing, okay, yeah, I guess my theory probably was right. Rose is still by Catherine's tomb, nursing memories of her. The soft wind lightly blew her hair. It reminded her of Catherine in playful ways. Tears sprouted from her eye. Even the wind. I say console her. I want to be happy. I am always here, my love. Lost will always have. But you love Mother the best, don't you? Yes, Mother. And you are going to be fine. I will never leave you like Catherine did. Rosa. Hello, Gilmer. Gilmer's soft voice came from behind. Rosa glanced at him in acknowledgement. So wait, we had 3 people that were in love with him. We had Emile, we had Catherine, and we had Rosa. So Emile died. Now Catherine's gone. Rose is the only one left. Unless it occurs that anybody who gets involved with him just dies. I don't know. Let's continue. He stood quietly beside her for a few moments, but ventured to speak. Have you thought about my offer? My house is always open for you. Remember that. I'm sorry for my outburst back then. It is nothing. The wind played around their feet, and Rosa pictured Catherine as part of the breeze, playful and free. She was free from the pain and confusion that had plagued her in the last days. They stood beside each other in solemn reverence. Finally, Rosa broke the silence. She was my family. I was in pain before she came along. I didn't know any better. She gave me hope. She was bright, like a flame. When I close my eyes, I can still see the imprint of her light in the darkness. I can feel her warmth. A star. They didn't speak again for some time. Gilmer cleared his throat. I was an orphan too, much like you. I know what it feels like to lose too much. I wandered for a long time before I found anything to live for. Were you alone? Sometimes. Always. Rosa nodded. Did you have a family? Gilmer shifted uncomfortably. No, they left me behind. I never knew them. Much of my money of it is blurred. Memory is blurred. Money is memory. I was taken in by kind people once before, but Gilmer sighed and Rosa observed a certain disquiet in him. I didn't belong. But you have no difficulty mingling with people. I think of it as a necessity rather than a preference. But either way, it can be quite tiresome after a while. Things don't last. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Can I make it worse? I'm sorry. I don't mind. Gilmer had never opened up to her about his past before, and it worried Rosa how little she actually knew about him. Anyway, would you like to go around town? I'd very much like to take you someplace for more cheer. How about our favorite spot? Gilmer smiled with understanding. The pair traveled up to a hill at the edge of town. True, there, the view overlooked the quaint village. Wow, that's actually a pretty nice view. The sunset painted everything in the pink glow dusk of endings. It is always so beautiful here. They used to spend time in this grassy knoll, the three of them. It was their own little hideaway. Memories of their past creeped up in every corner. The ghostly laughter echoed in the wind. Rosa touched the trunk of the small tree they had carved their names on. So many fond memories. Rosa, I want you to have this. Gilmer took Rosa's hand and placed the item in her palm. It was a simple silver locket. She looked up at him questioningly. I have had that for as long as I can remember. One of my remembrances of the past. I can't take this. You must. You need it more than I do. But it's old, and the locket doesn't even open anymore. I don't know why, but I held on to it for so long. I can't even remember how long I came to have it. But it comforted me. Maybe it will have the same effect for you. This is your treasure, Gilmer. It feels wrong to take it. On the contrary, I believe you must have it. Call it a hunch or a feeling, an urge of my heart. I'm not good with expressing sorrow or even giving comfort. But I want to do something, at least, for you. He closed his hand over hers, affirming the gift. It is yours. Please, take it. You're wrong if you think I'm letting you stay in the castle simply for Catherine's sake. I do it of my own accord. Let me do this for yours. We have been friends for quite a while. You need to leave. At least stay until you feel ready to go. Alright. But I will continue working in your household for my lodging. You don't have to do that. I can raise your status to a lady. You can read and write now. And very well. I'm sure you'll be more comfortable in a higher position. I have no need for a higher position. Just free access to your library. You have come a long way from the shy girl back then, Rosa. Watching you grow has been a pleasure. Yes, the library is yours. They were quiet for a while, only conversing through looks, smiles, and tight sighs. Rosa realized that she had been holding on to Gitterman's hand all the time. She broke off and told, rather embarrassed. We should head back. You're right, it is getting quite late. Gitterman walked over to the carriage to get it ready. Excellent, child. Being a man in this house will give you free access to the rooms. He trusts you completely. It seems that the candle worked. I guess so. Rosa looked at the silver necklace in her hand. She fiddled with it, trying to open the lock. Okay. First, no, second, third. Okay. Go. Okay. Should I open it? Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna save here. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm gonna save here. Okay, so I'm gonna end this video right here. Holy shit. Wow. Just wow. Whew. That was something. You know, holy fuck. I think one of the things about visual novels, to be honest, is the fact that they have stuff like this in there. Sometimes you have silly stuff and it's fun and you get to have a lot of fun, but sometimes you gotta sit back and unwind and actually focus on something that, you know, tells a good story. And so far, this has a lot of tragedy in it. Holy shit. Drama and tragedy. I never liked those kind of genres because, you know, I always try to stay away from that, but once you actually get immersed into it, it's really something. You know, oh man, I can't wait to see what, if it has multiple endings, I can't wait to see just what the other one told them. I don't know if they do, I'm just going to assume it does, but, you know, that's just me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like this video, please share it with your friends so that you may all enjoy it together. And so, until next video, see you next time.